The key is resonating at the frequency of abundance. Simple as that. Nature does it all the time. It's all around you. Earth does it. The universe does it. That's why everything is in precision. Your life could be in precision once you gravitate to that one frequency. Interesting because it's older than Earth itself. It's been around before Earth was. So it has a lot of knowledge. It has a lot of intrinsic, deeper frequencies or deeper knowledge. So if you can tap into that, you can tap into the universe. And the universe has, again, been around, I don't know, for trillions of years, if not more, So you can tap into that knowledge that created, again, that level of abundance for you. So when you tap into water, it is something very, very special, very different than tapping into, like plant life or nature or even Earth itself, like rocks and things like that. So my second near death was a drowning. So water is very special to me. It's my friend because it's allowed me to come in and harmonize, with that frequency naturally. Which we all have, by the way. So water has been always important to me. So some people, gravitate to the mountains. Some people, I gravitate to the mountains, but mostly water. I need water around me. Again, water has a high level of intelligence. If you think of Bruce Lee, he actually acknowledged that. There's many other individuals, high-level individuals, whether they're inventors or great sages, or even prophets, they talk about water. Again, it's because of the intelligence that it holds to be, say, that element specifically. And you can tap into, say, that level of frequency or intelligence. We're all connected at some level. And I know it sounds kind of woo-woo there. A lot of times, it's misdefined by, we're all connected through love. We're all connected through this. But in reality, what we're all connected to is say, the same unit of space-time that scientists think it's just a theory. I actually think it's a molecule. I would say it's the most, it goes beyond the quantum, say, molecule or the smallest quantum molecule that creates this reality. So with that being said, we're all harmonized in this reality through one molecule, space-time. So if we start to harmonize the same way as, say, anything in nature or anything in the planetary systems or anything in the universal system, because they are different levels. And then if we harmonize humanity with those three levels, and again, what does harmony mean? Does it mean more love? Does it mean being kinder? No, it doesn't mean like that. We mean that we resonate or harmonize with the same frequencies as nature, Earth, and the universe. We would be a world of, say, mass abundance and no lack. And what people do is like they go into nature. They might go into the ocean. And what most people do, and even people who don't believe in nature, spirituality, or even atheists or scientists, they believe that nature has a calming, relaxing quality, right? So what most people do, though, is that they're in disharmony, just like what I talked about. Their frequencies are in disharmony. They think their life situations are the problem, and it's really not. It's because their frequencies are in disharmony that they have the life situations. So most people go to nature. They'll go in, and go for a walk. They'll go for a swim. They'll get away. They'll escape and all that. But all they're doing is like, well, I've loaded myself with all this garbage that doesn't make me feel good. Tension from the day, the week, the month, the spouse, the environment, all that stuff, right? That we hold on to. And it's like, I'm going to go into nature and then dump this off for me. And then I'll feel good for a little bit. And then I'll come back and then, grab more of that stuff for other people and myself. And again, it's detrimental, not just to us, physical being. It's nature. It's detrimental to society, and it's detrimental to nature itself. Because nature goes, I don't want all this shit. What do I do with that? I can't handle it. So right now, nature, animals. A lot of you might have seen, say, your pets. kind of change because they don't want all that garbage that you're giving them. You know, your kids don't want that. So what the best way to do that is when you go into nature, you know, you ask yourself, it's like, wow, how can nature be always abundant no matter what? If you look at it through, you know, billions of years, nature has been always abundant. It's fantastic. It provides for those animals, plants, whatever it might be. It provides perfectly. So what you want to do is you go into nature, and then you start to harmonize with the same frequency, because it's not about your attitudes, your habits, or anything. It's about harmonizing with frequencies that'll keep you abundant. So when you go into nature, and you know, when I was in the catamaran, I was actually meditating on the group, helping him harmonize with, say, the water, which was really beautiful. So when you go into nature, when you go into water, ask how is it that it's always abundant, and it's always abundant for millions of years, and that pattern hopefully will absorb into you. And then when you walk away, you're not, you can deal with your issues, you can deal with life problems and turn it into positives. No matter what emotional space that you're in, no matter what situation that's happening to you, when you get into, say, that so-called zone, right? It's actually a power zone. And the power zone is actually about becoming present. So that's all. Yeah, so when you harmonize with nature, and you were just, and people feel it like right away when they get connected to that zone, right? Within a second, it's like, wow, this is amazing. The key is, and that's what XI is about, is like, how can you stay in that space more than just 1 second or a few minutes? How can you just run your life from that space? Again, you want to harmonize, you want to copy the patterns of nature. And by that, I mean the frequencies of nature. And once you connect to the frequencies, high level intelligence on how nature, say, solves problems comes into you. So imagine if our leaders, our thought leaders, our political leaders were, say, connected to a high level. They wouldn't have to recreate the system or destroy the system to recreate it. They could, you know, they could actually get some really high level knowledge behind the solutions that they're putting out to us, so to speak. Most people go to nature or they take a vacation. Why? To go dump their frequencies off, right? And so if you're going to a place that's visited by a lot of people, you're going to jump into all the garbage that people have dumped off. So that's why over time, you know, a park that somebody goes to or a ton of people go to isn't as attractive as anymore, although it's just as beautiful, but there's something missing to it because it's that human frequency that's distorting. There's nothing wrong with human frequencies, by the way, as long as it's resonating at the same frequency as nature. So that's one, is like, again, you want to make sure that the place is cleaner or, you know, pure in frequencies. How do you do that? You have your own innate, say, frequency detector. We just have to learn how to use it, by the way. Okay. So what that means is not just like picking a place, but, you know, this is where you can, you know, hone that frequency detector and pick up on people. Because nowadays it's like, who do you trust? Right? Who do you trust to do business with, or, you know, have your kids go out with, or, you know, you yourself might date, or whatever it might be. Who do you trust? You can't trust what's on Google. You can't trust the government. You can't trust, you know, your own instincts. But if you turn this back on, it really helps you resonate, and you automatically stay away from those people or situations that's not beneficial for you. Einstein said that, I was just pulling up this quote. He said, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. So that's what XI is about, literally about matching your frequency. Again, jumping back into nature, you really ask yourself, how do I connect to the frequency of nature? And it's not like you go back into your simpler times and you live in a hut and all that stuff. It's not about that. You connect into the abundance that nature provides. And then whatever situation that you're in, you're connected to the abundance. So you'll create abundance. And that's how true wealth, by the way, happens. Because you wouldn't have to go anywhere to connect or get back, say, that frequency of calm. I guess people would call it calm, right? People want calm, but what is the definition of calm? Right? A lot of people, again, calm is, say, the removal of whatever's causing their issue, right? That's what calm is for most people. So they go out or they find something, they have a therapy, they take some medication, they get addicted to stuff to stay calm. But what I'm saying is like, well, why are you not calm in the first place? Why are you not, say, the master or the leader of your environment? You know, I work with a ton of successful individuals, you know, the 1% of the 1%ers, and you think they'd be the calmest person, right? With all that security, because that's what everybody thinks. All that stuff is going to give me security, fortune, fame, and, you know, maybe good looks or whatever. And they're not that secure. They're just as bad off as anybody else. So again, that's not the key. The key is resonating at the frequency of abundance. Simple as that. Nature does it all the time. It's all around you. Earth does it. The universe does it. That's why everything is in precision. Your life could be in precision once you gravitate to that one frequency. The one caveat I say is that don't go out searching on the internet or YouTube going, gosh, what frequency is that? Okay, because there are a lot of frequencies and they're good, but they're very singular and they're man-made. The frequencies that I'm talking about is your natural essence or your natural frequency. Again, that exponential intelligence brings out. And that's why you're exponentially intelligent. Those situations in our life that we call tragic, you know, those would be great moments or great opportunities of, say, fantastic learning or fantastic, elevation to higher, say, knowledge and intelligence and abundance. Unfortunately, what those things are magnifiers. So a drowning, a tragedy, you know, a great love, those are magnifiers. So a magnifier is basically, you know, if you're at a level, say, 0 or negative, where most people are at a frequency, let's say, where your life is going all wrong. You know, you're fearful, you know, you're afraid of losing your job, your spouse, all those things that we all, you know, that most people do. They get into that, say, magnifier situation. Well, if they're, say, at a level 0 or below, like a -10, for example, boom, you know, they get magnified. So now they're at and the magnifier effect is dependent on how tragic or how, say, expansive you can awaken or come into the present moment time. So that magnifier effect, you know, the wave is that hits you, say, is 100. So now you're minus 1,000 below, right? So you get a lot worse off. You're insecure, and this is a real life situation, you know, you're insecure, you're incomplete, you're losing your job, you don't have that confidence that doesn't come from anything physical here. You know, you're missing that deeper essence of knowing who you are, right? So those life situations are burdening you. You get a divorce, which is a tragic, it's a magnifier, right? Or you get married, it's a magnifier, right? So again, all that negativity, you get a divorce, what does it do? It magnifies you. And this is where those individuals get alcoholic, or they abuse themselves more, or they can't come back to life after somebody dies or after somebody divorces them or whatever. Does that make sense to you? How that's why that's a magnifier effect. But on the flip side, like for me, for example, you know, I've gone through divorce, I've gone through bankruptcy, I've gone through near deaths, I've gone through all that stuff. And it's like, well, how did I turn out to be, you know, even, say, more grander, I would say a few months to a year after that? Is because, say, I resonate at a level 10, maybe way back in the day. And, you know, a magnifier effect, again, say, of a death would come into 100 or 1,000 level, right? So again, those are great opportunities that we have. So this magnifier, I'm a level 10, okay, normal person, let's say, a magnifier effect of 1,000, you know, the second near death. So now, you know, 10 times 1,000, that's like 10,000 times I just elevated myself. So in a very short time, I went from, say, rags to riches, and not just physical wealth, but expansive wealth, higher level wealth that we're all seeking in a very short period of time. That's what exponential intelligence is about. I help a ton of a high level CEO type, Forbes 100 type individuals go, I have all this stuff, but again, it's not working for me. What's missing? It's that grander wealth that I just talked about. So those magnifier effects, again, or those magnifier opportunities in our lives is a chance to awaken and merge together with ourselves. People who do XI and the XI community, they come up to me and they have a different stress. They go, hey, Mas, I'm not really stressed out, but everybody in the world is stressed out. What's going on? Should I be stressed out? So that's how, advantageous it is when your frequencies are harmonized, because the stress around you can actually create, say, massive, say, harmony within you if you use it, if you know how to use it properly. It's kind of like a martial arts technique, but for frequencies. So simple as that, which is quite amazing, actually. So how can you be so calm and collected while the world is in chaos? Right? And people go, well, I'll just shelter myself. I'll do this. You can't really do that because, you're a human mastermind. In XI, people have done it very differently. And that's why, say, they ascend higher or their frequencies are more abundant level. So you'll see a lot of XIers, they're happier, they're wealthier, they've made money, they've created, again, a fantastic opportunity to, say, regain their life from the distortions of, say, the people around him or the distortions that are around him. Why is it? Again, it's just like a martial arts move. You can use that power of distortion to create mass power for you to, again, elevate yourself to much, much higher levels. So for those people who aren't in XI, welcome. But for those people who aren't, the best thing to do is, again, ask yourself, well, what is it in me that's allowing stress to happen? Okay. And just leave it an open question. And then you go, well, it's my spouse. Well, it's like that. And, from that step, you can go, well, what is it in me that's allowing a person like my spouse or my ex or my partner or situations that I get into to keep happening over and over again? So you'll start to see, not, say, a situation that you need to fix, but you'll actually start to see patterns or events that have happened. Or you'll start to see, say, the patterns or algorithms within the events that have happened. You'll go, oh, so there's a frequency or a pattern in me that's allowing whatever in my life to happen. Most people, again, they go from situation to situation to situation. If they lined all those situations together and go, what's the common denominator or what pattern is it in me that allows that to happen? When you go on vacation or when you try to, when you go out and you go out into the world, what'll happen for you is that when you go out, you change your scenery, you change your environment, you change your pattern, and then you come back reset with a different pattern. So you're not just dumping stuff off. You're not just going out to, say, feel good, release some pressure and then come back and build that pressure up. You're going there to go, shit, I don't want all this stuff, whatever caused this pressure in me. I can go out, change my scenery, dump it off, come back and reset so I don't have to hold on to that pressure again. So some of the tips that you can do, very easy tips, again, is before you do go out, you go plan a vacation or, you just go to the beach or even a night out with the friends. It's like, why are you doing that? Are you there to release pressure and then come back and build more pressure, which is totally fine because we all need that, right? But what if we just tweaked it a little bit? It's like, hey, I'm going to go out and release pressure, whatever it is. If it's a, long-term vacation, an escape, in Minnesota, there's a lot of guys that have ice houses on Lake Minnetonka, right? Or whatever lake. It's like they just want to get away from their wives, and they like hibernate in the weekend, they go there and it's like, I'm escaping from, the wife or this life situation, unfortunately. So anyway, no matter what you're doing, guys, if you're going out on vacation, going out on a night on the town, whatever it is, to say release pressure. So there's just one more question you can ask yourself, is like, well, what is it in me that's allowing that pressure to build up? And just leave it open. Just keep asking yourself, no matter what comes up for you, no matter what answer comes up for you, just go, yeah, that's a good answer. Is there something deeper? And just keep asking yourself. It's a never ending question. And then you'll soon see that alone, and you going out for the night or for the weekend or for the month, whatever, you come back and it's like, wow, I'm operating from a very different level. And you stay more relaxed or more calm that way. Right. So it's not a release, it's an actual fix for you. And it's very, very simple. And XI just helps you do it better and easier.